Did Chris Macintosh make it worse? It's fact or fiction. Let's go.
You are Locked On Badgers, your daily podcast on the Wisconsin Badgers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is going on, Badger fans? Welcome to Fact or Fiction on Locked On Badgers. I'm your host, Ryan Herrings, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your spot every single day for your team. Thank you for being every day, or thank you for being a part of this community. Today's episode brought to you by Mazda. Like every single player, Mazda sweats every detail because when you make every move count, pulling off the unexpected is only the beginning. Stay tuned later for highlights in this week's Moving the Game Forward. Mazda, move and be moved. Rajiv, we rescheduled this show a couple times because of me. Like I had things that came up, so I appreciate your patience. Again, we're going to try to be consistent with these so people can tune in and find a consistent time. But we do like doing this every week. One of my favorite shows. And again, just for people who maybe haven't seen them all, Rajiv and I don't know what each other's facts or fictions are, which makes it fun. If you're in the chat, throw yours in there. Let us know where you're at on each of our individual facts or fictions. And Rajiv, sir, I give you the floor.
I do want to say one thing before I do my first fact or fiction. It's not the easiest time to be a Badger fan, and I think everyone can agree to that. But what's got to be really hard, and I really appreciate what you do. You do this every single day. You're still here. You're still showing up every day, and it's not the easiest time to do that. So thank you, and just really it's very impressive what you do. And I just wanted to say that on the air because I know a lot of people appreciate it as well, as do I.
Thank you. That's incredibly kind.
Okay. So here we go. I know that you did a show about the letter, right? That the Chris Macintosh letter, and there's a lot going on about that. So very simple, fact or fiction, Chris Macintosh made the situation way worse by sending the letter in the first place.
Fiction. And I say that as a guy who didn't like the letter, right? On my show, I very clearly talked about it. I don't like the letter. I thought it was a bunch of word salad. It could have been done so much better, or just not done at all. But made the situation way worse? I don't think so. Like, there's nothing he was going to say, in my opinion. There's nothing he was going to say or not say that is going to make this situation that much better. Ultimately, it is results on the field. It's not good enough. Again, I wouldn't have sent the letter. And if I did, I would have not worded it that way. I was very clear on this. Take some accountability, please. But I don't think it fundamentally changes the actual situation, which is the on-field product is a disaster. So I'm going to say fiction on this.
I like that. We're going to disagree, and I like that too. I'm saying fact because of a lot of the points you already made about the fact that he didn't really take accountability and that it should have been worded differently, but also because now think about the pressure that's on him because now all of a sudden there's more money, right? He put out there to the fans that there's going to be investment in the program, and you know what? I'm here for that. Like, give the program more money. But do you know, now they really have to do it. They've got to show tangible evidence and show what they're going to be able to do with this. It just puts a lot more pressure on the program, which is good in some ways, right? It's good that it makes them want to work harder, and that's fine. But I also feel like it increases the negativity. This letter, I mean, yeah. You and Justin obviously had an opinion. I think most Badger fans out there were like, are you kidding me? I mean, that's the reaction you get. Why do you get that reaction? Because the team's 0-4 in conference and hasn't won a Power 4 game in a year. So when you send something like that, talking about your Rose Bowl victories and all that stuff and how we're going to invest in the program, it does is make the fan base more negative, which in turn has an effect further on the coaches and the players. And I don't think it was necessary at all. I think whenever you make the decision to move on from Luke Fickell, whenever you make the decision to stay, that's when you can come out and talk to the fans about what's going to happen. But doing it right now and doing it in that way, to me, did not help. And in fact, definitely made the situation worse for the university, for the players, for the coaches.
And most people in chat agree with you. Turin Low, fact, better be quiet and not know that you were dumb. We're not saying they're dumb. I'm just reading the comment. Then say something and prove it. A lot of people near fact. Nick Hitchens said fact. Yeah, I mean, fundamentally, you and I agree on this. Both of us thought the letter lacked substance. It lacked accountability. It lacked ownership. It lacked measurables to this is what we're going to do to fix it. This is the timeline we're going to do that to fix it. So, yeah, we 100% agree on that. We're in lockstep. But again, make the situation much worse. Right now, the Badger fan base is a beehive that got kicked over. And they're just going to sting whatever they can find, Rajiv. If it wasn't this, it'd be something else. I don't think it makes it more toxic, more angry, because you can't get more toxic or more angry, quite frankly. I mean, some of the personal messages I get from people, I just want people to know, like, I take flack because people are just, and it's because people are just lashing out because they're frustrated justifiably. So was this an easy target? Yes. But if it wasn't this, there would just be anger directed at something else. I just don't think it demonstratively moves the needle. Like, this program is not good on the field, and a letter either way from Macintosh, to me, doesn't really change that. But I get your point too.
And part of making it worse is the fact that it didn't really help, right? Did it do anything to help? No, it didn't. And it made us more upset about what's happening. I mean, obviously, like friends and family, like they know I do this podcast, and they're all like, boy, it must be a rough time to be talking about the Badgers. And I'm like, yeah, thanks for reminding me that like, it's so hard, man. But when I see that, I'm like, now I just want to crumple that. If I physically would have got the letter in the mail, I would have just crumpled it up and threw it, because I'm like, it just makes me angry, man. But part of that's the reason I say it's a fact. You're absolutely right. Is it really moving the needle? Probably not, but I'm just mad about it.
It's fair. Yeah, it's completely fair. It was a silly letter. I agree. I think fundamentally we're on the same page on that. Fact or fiction? Let's stay in the letter for a second.
Oh boy.
The angry fan base has actually buried the lead here. Fickle, Macintosh is the subplot. The fact that they're going to invest resources into the program, which, if that's true, and let's just take that at face value for the second. If that's true, resources into the program outlast whoever's coaching. Fact or fiction? The real takeaway from this is money is going to start being spent.
Yes, that's a fact. But given the fact that you've got this administration and this coaching staff in place, do you have any confidence that that money moves the needle and makes us a better team? Under Luke Fickell, I don't. Money's always going to make it better. But if you can't, as you said on your point, you pointed out really well on your show, if you can't take care of your house as it is now, money's going to it's going to do a little bit, but it's not going to actually make you a lot better. Or you paraphrase something like that. And I feel like that in itself it's why because I don't have the confidence, to me, I don't know that it's actually going to be making it better and improving things. So it's like the fact that Fickell's still there, I know that comment's there. I know the money's coming. I think that is an important thing. And in a sense, since they did bury the lead, but I have no confidence this is going to help. And until Luke Fickell's out of the way, I'm going to be too jaded by that. Does that make sense? Like, I feel like I'm a little bit in the middle on this one, but I just think that it's just difficult given the fact that the coaching staff is still there.
I think that's fair, but I think zooming out, my bigger point is, if they're opening the throttle, like if they're upstream, right, there's a dam upstream, and we'll call that Wisconsin money dam. And they say, you know what, the dam operator said, no, we're going to open a spillway a little bit. We got to send money downstream. That money's going to be coming downstream whether Fickell's here or not. And I think that's my bigger point. It may not fix Fickell, but the fact that we are understanding and publicly saying we need to invest in this program and catch up, I think there's a fundamental shift potentially happening. And listen, Nick Hitchens, great friend of the show, says, I'll believe it when I see it. I think that's fair. But again, if you're going to take some of this on face value, that money's going to flow downstream. And whether Fickell or not is the head coach, that money's going to start, I think, coming into the program, because you can see there's an understanding that they need to spend money now. And I think that's the big takeaway.
Yeah, I know. I think this is a good point. Yeah, it is a good point. And I think that, like, it is talking about the future. It is talking about everything. And if we're going to criticize things in the letter, we can also give credit to the fact that ultimately it will help. And it is a good thing for the future, right? Like, yeah, you're right. I mean, obviously I want us to be successful. Obviously I want money invested in to be able to take the next step as a program and do so the right way. And if they're going to do that, and they're going to invest that money, great. But they also have to make the other decisions to make that money work.
That's very fair. Yeah, no argument there. You have to also spend money wisely. If you just give money away, it's not going to help you. I think money always helps. I know for a fact that to some degree, this program at least looked at Fernando Mendoza and he was too expensive, right? I mean, those are the type of things. Like, you can get more talent. More talent is always going to help, but you're also completely correct. Obviously, it doesn't matter if you can't coach, develop, etc. Go ahead. Yeah.
Is there any part of you that worries that, like, what Wisconsin's going to invest, like this, if it's $25 or $30 million, just throwing out a number, like, annually into the program or whatever, flooding it? What if other schools do the same thing, right? Like, I worry about, like, other schools basically just saying, well, we're all going to do that now, because it might be coming from a particular pool of money that other schools now have available potentially as well. So I do worry about that. Like, is it going to move the needle for us? Just a thought.
It's a really good point. To some degree, other schools already are. I'm talking about the top tier schools in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
USC, Penn State, Oregon, Ohio State, Michigan are already spending that, right? So if nothing else, that'll close the gap a little bit on the field and from a talent standpoint in that disparity. Other Big Ten schools aren't going to stamp that either, but listen, Indiana probably spends that now or close to it. So I think this helps close the gap for those schools.
I think those schools could also be increasing their spend as well, though, is what I'm saying. Like the competition's getting so fierce that you're going to see them go up. So then we both went up, right? That's
very fair. No, I think it's a tremendously fair point. Maybe you don't make up much ground in that case. However, I would then, as I'm thinking about this, at least you're not losing ground either, right? I mean, I think the point here we're both making is, yes, money helps. Ultimately, we both agree, though, it doesn't help if you can't do anything else correctly. I think we're on the same page there.
Right.
All right, we're going to take a quick second here. We got more Fact or Fiction, plus a couple of yours in the chat. I think Rajiv started a couple. We also got Hoops Fact or Fiction coming up. I got a good one for Rajiv that I don't think he's going to like. I'm going to be completely honest with y'all. But first, quick break for our friends of the show today. Great friends of the show over at Mazda. If you want to talk about moving the game forward a little bit, for those who believe it's not just about playing the game, it's about redefining it. There are moments that do more than put points on the board. They move crowds, they move culture, and they keep moving the game forward. This week's moment that moved the game forward, again, we're going back and we're going to use Sean West. We're going to use Sean West, punter / running back extraordinaire, was juking Ohio State out of their socks. Are you kidding me? Breaking tackles like he was Barry Sanders. Absolutely moving the game forward. The longest run by a Badger this year, Badger fans, Sean West. Absolutely incredible. He will help move the game forward and at least generate some type of positivity. Right now, when you follow what moves you, the unexpected is only the beginning. And just like there's more to every single highlight, there's more to every Mazda vehicle. Mazda, move and be moved. Today's episode also brought to you by our great friends over at FanDuel. Incredible time of the year to do FanDuel. I know Rajiv is heavy into sports betting, sports books. Man, what do you love about FanDuel and what they give?
So one of the things that's really great about FanDuel is that it makes every game more exciting, right? Like this is what a great way to watch more sports and get more into the games, because every single thing you do, you can turn that into making money off it, right? You can open up the app so easily, great user interface, and be able to put player props down, be able to have teasers, be able to do great parlays. I'm becoming big into the NFL parlays, not hitting a ton of them, but we'll see. There's so many options. And baseball playoffs are here. World Series is here. Your sport, the NBA is back. Suns, big win for you last night. I hope you had money. So I feel like that it's just so many great options. And what better place to do it? And what better time of the year to do it? FanDuel.
Yeah, I love it. And right now, new customers, if you bet $5, you can get $300 in bonus bets. If you win, put down $5 and you get $300 to use across the app. What are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com. Head over to FanDuel.com. Use the app to get started today. All right, let's get into this. And Rajiv, great shout out on the Suns. Nigel Hayes-Davis on the Feeding Suns. It's so cool to see. Obviously, you see it with Jonathan Taylor on your Indianapolis Colts. Nigel Hayes didn't do a lot, but he's in the rotation. It's so cool, man, to see one of my favorite. I loved him in Madison. To see him in the NBA is so cool.
I love that. I love that I hadn't watched that. You sent me a picture today of Nigel Hayes playing, which is fantastic. Obviously, the minute we drafted Jonathan Taylor, literally I was in my living room, my wife's cooking something, and I screamed. I went absolutely nuts. And every day that I watch him in that jersey, it makes me feel it's awesome. It's so special for me.
I love it. All right, let me hit you with my next Fact or Fiction. Fact or Fiction. If Billy Edwards can't get healthy, you need to start Carter Smith after Oregon.
Okay, so we have the same basic Fact or Fiction here, which occasionally will happen. Mine is Carter Smith will see the field this season. So I guess that's kind of like the same thing. Okay, so say yours again one more time.
Fact or Fiction, Billy Edwards isn't healthy, obviously. After Oregon, you have to start Carter Smith.
Have to start Carter Smith would be tough to say fact on. Would I? Yes. I mean, geez, why not? Especially unless you were to see marked improvement from Simmons or O'Neal in this game, and if Simmons somehow beats Oregon, that's different. But yeah, at this point, 4 games left, he can maintain his red shirt. Use the guy, play the guy. And that's why I would have answered fact to mine saying he's going to see the field this season, because why would he not? First of all, I want to keep him. Okay. So if he gets playing time, it's all right, I can be here. I can compete for this job. I can have this job next year and show what he has. It's massive. We have nothing to lose. We've been saying it for weeks. Play the young guys. Absolutely. Put Carter Smith out there.
Yeah, I'm fact as well. Mitch says yes. Jesse Wilder says fact. Let's see what he's got. Hooger says fiction. He's transferring. Going to be a Mabry situation again. I would just put him out there anyway. Like at this point, if he's like, no, I'm gone. I'm like, that's fine. You're still starting. Like, I don't care. Go out there. Go out there. Give us 4 games. You keep your red shirt, then transfer. You got to do something.
And if he wants his transfer portal and that's what he wants to do, then hey, show the other schools what you have for 4 weeks. That's fine. Like he should want that too. He could, even if he is going to leave, let's see what he's got. Totally.
100%. And listen, you and I have both been a little higher on the separate backup quarterbacks this season. I've been a little higher on Daniel Neal. You've been a little higher on Hunter Simmons. The fact is neither are good enough. Neither, right? The fact is we both kind of maybe fooled ourselves a little bit. They're not good enough. And it's not on them. They're just not good enough right now. Carter Smith was a 4-star recruit that was committed to Michigan. You can look around college football and see freshmen starting every single year. It happens everywhere. For someone who says, well, it could be worse, it can't. It can't be worse. We can't score a point. It can't be worse. I think fans would respond to change. Again, listen, if someone were to tell me he's at practice sulking and literally refusing to play, okay, that's maybe different. I don't think that's the case. In fact, I kind of know that's not the case. So yes, play him.
Do you feel like there's any chance that the only reason they haven't played him yet is because he's not there at all? Like they really don't think he can do it? And do you have confidence in the coaching staff's evaluation of that?
It's a good question. I mean, I think those are probably definitely possibilities. I imagine there was some part of a discussion of we aren't going to throw him to the Wolves against Ohio State, Oregon. That's not fair. It doesn't make sense. But you have a bye week. If this weekend goes the way we think it probably will, it'll be another struggle. I think that's a perfect opportunity to turn to your 4-star freshman quarterback and honestly just show that you're willing to change and try something different and look to the future. Get him a couple games. I think you have an incredibly good point. He's not going to lose his red shirt. There's 4 games left. I think it makes so much sense, man. Which means it probably won't happen, by the way. Which means it probably won't happen. But yes, I buy this one.
Yeah, I like it. All right. So my next one, I'm going to switch to basketball because it's great. It's coming. I can't wait for it. Okay. Gard will have a rotation, or there will be 10 players that get more than 8 minutes per game. Gard will have a rotation that includes 10 players that get more than 8 minutes per game. Now, so for some perspective, last year we had 9, right? Xavier Amos had 9.6 minutes a game last year. So fact or fiction?
Can I ask a clarifying question?
Yes.
So if you look at stats at the end of the year, a player who plays 2 games that plays 16 minutes will go down for 8 minutes per game. Obviously, you're saying consistently every game 10 players are going to play at 8 minutes per pop.
Yeah, like last year, every single person that hit that threshold played 37 games, except Klesman who played 33. Those all count, right? You can't have someone. It's got to have at least over half the season for sure. Like you got to be playing games.
I'm going to say fiction. This is a really interesting discussion, something that I've talked about a couple times too, just trying to flesh out the rotation. 2 years ago, I remember everyone saying we're really deep, and I was like, guys, I don't think we're that deep. Mm-hmm. I think there could be another scenario here where it's feel good season. You're hyped about everybody. The bullets haven't started flying a little bit, and we're talking ourselves into some minutes for people. But the fact of the matter is, Winter's got to play 30. Boyd's got to play 32. Blackwell's got to play 32-ish. Rapp's going to have to play mid-20s. I think Brody's going to have to play 25 to 30. Like, those guys they're just going to eat up a bulk of the time. And I think Carrington's going to get 15-ish. I think Bialuskas could get some. I just think when you start to actually look at the minutes and how much is actually available, you're not going to find the 8 minutes per game for the number 9 and number 10 guy consistently.
So who is that in your 8 then? You said Bialuskas. You said Carrington.
I think it'll be Carrington, probably Janicki, Bialuskas, and then maybe if you get to a 9th, it's going to be one of those freshmen, I think, that would step into that role. Whether it could be a Garlock or Kinzinger. I think actually Hayden Jones could be really interesting, and he's generating some buzz. I just don't think you're going to get to 10.
Yeah. Do you think where do you think Elijah Gray falls into that?
So he's been dinged up a lot, and okay. I think even coming in, Elijah Gray, who if you go back and look at what he's done in his career, he's not a great fit for what I think Gard wants to do with his scheme. He doesn't shoot it really well. He's kind of turnover prone. I think he was a guy that they were just and this is no disrespect, this is just my take. This is not something I've been told. I think he's a guy they were really fishing. We just need another body in the front court. And this guy's kind of tall. He's there. He can do a few things. I think he's a break glass in case of emergency guy.
Yeah. So I'm actually officially fiction on this as well, because I agree that, and every year we go into this and it's the rotation's always smaller than you think. It's always every year when I watch basketball, I'm like, oh, the rotation's smaller than I thought it was. I wanted to say fact. I do think 9 is where we're probably going to be. I have Janicki, Biliauskas, Carrington, and Garlock as my 4 coming in off the bench.
Say it one more time. Sorry, I was just looking at a comment. Say it one more time.
So I've got Janicki, Carrington, Biliauskas, and Garlock.
Yeah, I think it makes sense.
So I think it's fiction. But look, the bigger point is I think we are deep. We're not super deep. We're not incredible, but I think we have depth. And I feel like our starting 5 is going to be really exciting, man. Like, just really exciting. All these guys can shoot. They seem to have great chemistry. I mean, I think Nick Boyd is going to be like a little bit of sort of like a cheat code out there. He's going to just be someone who's like, we put him with the other players that we have. All of a sudden, things are going to just work better. I'm really excited about it. And I'm probably overhyping it because of our football program. Yes, I recognize that. It's okay. Let me do it.
No, I just love the energy pickup when we started talking hoops. Like, look at Reggie smiling. He's happy. He's laughing again. It's so nice because thank goodness for great Gard, man. Like, this isn't even a fact or fiction. Thank goodness for this.
Could you imagine 2 years ago we were having this conversation about Greg Gard with the whole, like, Justin was on one side, we were on the other, and it's like, thank God for Greg Gard. We're going to be saying in the middle of 2025. Unbelievable.
I absolutely love it. All right, we're going to take one more second for friends of the show. We're going to come back. We had a fact or fiction from the comment section. Jonathan Hess talking about this football team being bowl eligible next year. We're going to talk about that next. Plus, I got a final 4 fact or fiction coming up for Rajiv as well. Bunch of comments coming up. Today's Locked On Badgers. But first, a quick second for our friends of the show over at DoorDash. DoorDash is your incredible partner. Listen, if you're like me and you like eating on the weekend and you don't like cooking, DoorDash is here for you. It's time to look back and crown this week's MVP on Who Delivered, powered by DoorDash. Just like you can win every Saturday with DoorDash Streaks, saving more every single time you order. This is a player that delivered when it mattered most. Let's break it down. And I want to be honest for a second. I want to be real. It's not easy to do these Who Delivered ad reads when you lose and get shut out. But Christian Allegro, like, if nothing else, man, if you're going back out there, broken arm, cast it up at halftime, that's some Ronnie Lott, like, cut off my finger, let me get it back out there and help my teammates type of stuff. I mean, let's just be real. That dude cares for this program and he's bleeding for this program. So Christian Allegro absolutely delivered. And just like Christian Allegro delivered to the Wisconsin Badgers, DoorDash delivers for your Saturdays. With DoorDash Streaks, you save money every Saturday you order. Stack it up all season. You can save up to $250, including $100 in DoorDash credits. Order this Saturday. Keep the streak alive. Fuel your game day only with DoorDash. Terms to apply. Promo period through 11/18. Rajiv, let's get back into this. Would you come back out there with a broken arm for your volleyball team?
No, I sprained my ankle at the beginning of last season and definitely couldn't be on the sand. I played for like 2 more points and I was like, okay, I'm done.
I love it. All right, let me hit you with this one. Fact or fiction, this team can't shoot its way because of its other limitations into the Final Four.
That's a tough one, I think, because they can shoot their way into the Final Four because I guess I'm going to answer it with all the clarification. They can shoot their way in there because I think their limitations might not be as bad as other people think they are. Is that fair? Like, I feel like, so I guess I would say fiction because I think Nick Boyd's going to actually help this team defensively. And I think that I'm not saying they're going to be a lot better, but I do think there's athletes on this team that hopefully should help with the dribble penetration defense. And I think that Luzu Kral's going to be a miss for sure, but hopefully Winter has taken a step up and can actually defend a bit more. I think we're going to be a little bit better on that side of the ball, I guess. So therefore, I think we can shoot our way into it.
I'm going to say fiction. I don't think this team can shoot its way. Let's see. Is that the right way to answer my question? Fact or fiction? Yeah. They can't do it. Whatever that's fact or fiction. I forget how I worded my question.
That's fair.
This is not a good enough defensive team, in my opinion. You look at the front court depth. You have Austin Rapp, who's a stretch 4 coming out of Portland, who's not an elite athlete. I think he's going to do amazing things offensively. He's going to have some issues defensively. Then you have Nolan Winter, who's a 4, nominally put on some weight. I think it'd be fine at the 5. He's still not going to be Stephen Crowell like tough on the inside in terms of post defense, physical post defense, boxing out consistently. And then what's the backup? If either of those players gets in foul trouble, gets hurt, which will happen in the Big Ten, it will happen against a BYU team that's going to get into the rim and get into the paint. Are you going to go to Will Garlock, a freshman? Is it Bialuskas? I don't think there's enough front court depth, and I don't think there's enough defensive presence on this team to make that type of run.
Our football team is 0-4 in conference, so no one is going to take my joy away from this basketball team for me. So I'm going to blindly say this. You're right, by the way. You're right. But let me tell you something. I got to have hope somewhere, and it's all in the Greg Gard basketball basket. So yeah, we can get to the Final Four. Ryan, come on. What are you talking about?
I also want to say, like, none of what I said diminishes how excited I am for this team. I think this team is going to be really good. I think it's going to be really fun. I think it's going to win some big games. It's going to get into March. I think it's going to get into the Sweet 16. And I think that's about probably where the run ends. But that's an incredible year. I mean, there's 300 something teams in D1. You finish in the top 16. Hell yeah. And
as you know, from being a Phoenix Suns fan, when you have a team that can score a lot of points, you can be in any game, right? You're not going to win the title, but you can win a game on a night. So in the Sweet 16, all of a sudden the other team's a little cold, and here comes Blackwell and Winter and Rhodey and these guys firing threes. We can beat anybody in the country. Not saying we will consistently, but we can. And that is that excitement. That's the tournament excitement. If you get to the Sweet 16, anything can happen.
I love and hate your Phoenix Suns reference, because yes,
I'm right. Though. I'm right.
You can win any game, but you also can never win the big one. Yeah, you're right, but you can't actually do it because you don't play defense. It's not a great comp. Oh, but I love it. I absolutely love it. Let's jump into your next one.
All right, so actually, I'm gonna use this the one that's in here from Jonathan Hess. Fact or fiction? This same football team with next year's schedule is bowl eligible. So just for information, let me give you that schedule just quickly. So non-con is Notre Dame at Lambeau, Western Illinois, and Pittsburgh. Then we got Big Ten home opponents: Michigan State, Rutgers, Minnesota, SC. Away is Iowa, Maryland, Penn State, Purdue, UCLA. I said that pretty quickly, but you get the point.
Yeah.
So can you find 6 wins next year's schedule with this team?
Not with this. It's funny because I thought this was a really interesting question from Jonathan. I appreciate the question. Also, D Wolf, put your question back in the chat. I didn't see yours, but you're asking us to ask. So put yours back in the chat. This is interesting because when I first read this, I thought he was saying after an off season with next year's schedule, we're going to be bowl eligible, which would assume roster construction stuff is going to happen. Maybe some of the younger players take another step. We like that young talent, but this year's team as it's constructed now, no, because it's not good enough. Are we saying if Billy Edwards is healthy, maybe? Or because there's no way it's the quarterback situation.
Yeah, I think we should put in Billy Edwards' health, because I think that's with Hunter Simmons, no, this is of course a clear fiction at this point. But okay, let's just say that Billy Edwards is healthy, and we have Fickle as head coach still, and we're just moving on and doing whatever Chris Macintosh thinks is going to happen.
No, it's fiction. This team's not good enough. Look at the secondary. We can't guard anybody. Where is the NFL talent? There's maybe 2 people on this team that are going to get drafted, and maybe a Vinny Anthony, and is it one? Is it one person? No, the offensive line's not good enough. The running game isn't as good as we thought it would be. The secondary's a train wreck. There's not as much talent in the linebacker room as we thought. Rajiv, I think it's a fiction.
I really want to say fact, but I can't. I mean, come on. These teams, we play 5 away. We have a 8 or 18 or 19 game winning streak against Purdue. That I'm from Lafayette, Indiana, so I get to talk a lot of crap to a lot of my hometown people, and I don't want that streak to end. So we need to go to Purdue and win. But yeah, it's fiction. Come on, we're not doing that. Not with this. By the way, do what many fans have been saying. I've been saying it. Make a coaching change, and then maybe we can talk about this.
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to happen, Rajiv.
Okay, you might not, but it should happen.
I'm trying to find your comment, Dave Wolf. You said you had a fact or fiction you wanted us to ask. So again, throw yours back in there if you can. Let me see if I have another one here.
I do. I have one I can.
Okay. Let's grab another one. Yeah.
Okay. So assuming we replace Luke Fickell at the end of the season. I know you say that may not, you don't think that may happen, but we'll see. It definitely could. We both know that. Wisconsin is still considered is considered a top 6 Big Ten job. Okay, so right now it's the job is open. So just to kind of give you, obviously you got your Ohio State, you got your Michigan, you got your Penn State, you got your Oregon, you got your SC. Those are the 5 that I put in when I looked at the top 5. Are we 6?
I think that's fiction. I don't think we're 6. If I'm gaming this out, certainly the top 5 you put in there. I think Nebraska is a better job than Wisconsin because Nebraska is the only school in state and they spend really well in NIL. It's as simple as that. They have better resources, better money, better facilities. And in an era where in-state recruiting seems to be less and less important, we used to get more in-state talent than they did. Nebraska doesn't produce much talent. That doesn't matter as much anymore. So Nebraska is more important to that state. They spend more money. They have more history, quite frankly, better facilities. Nebraska is a better job than Wisconsin right now, in my opinion. Are we 7? Are we a better job than Iowa? I think so. Are we a better job than Indiana? No, not right now. So are we 8? Are we a better job than Illinois right now? No. They just got $100 million from a donor. So are we 9?
Wow.
We're a better job than Minnesota, I think. We are a better job than Washington. Are we 10? I think maybe we're 10.
You don't think we're a better job than Washington? Come on.
I don't. No, I don't. I do not think we're a better job than Washington. Not. There's a lot of talent out there. They've also proven that they'll invest in the program. They've been really successful. See, another thing you got to look at, in my opinion, I shouldn't say you have to look at. I think another thing that I think is important, in my opinion, is look at teams that have been successful in the NIL era. It's really easy to look back at what Wisconsin's done the last 20 years, but Washington has navigated the NIL era much better than Wisconsin. I think we're like 10th or 11th right now, Rajiv, if I'm being completely honest. Fact or fiction, I'm too low on us.
So here's the thing that we always have to remember. I feel like, look what happened at Indiana. You're right that they invested, okay, but one of the reasons they invested so much is because Curt Cignetti brought immediate success, which a coach can do in the transfer portal era with bringing players over from their other school, and you show that initial success, and the money will start to roll in. I believe that. I absolutely believe that because that's how college athletics has always worked. And I think to an extent, it's going to keep working like that with the money piece of it. So I probably would agree with you that it's fiction and we're probably below Nebraska, but because you kind of convinced me. But I do think that that can change so quickly because we're talking about Indiana being a better job. 2 years ago, you would have laughed at that, right? Obviously. So I just feel like there is some historical context that can be factored into the equation there for me. And also it can change so quickly.
That is fair. I think all that is incredibly fair. And Zach Bart's kind of hits on, I think we kind of answered it, but fact or fiction, an increase in funding and a new staff puts Wisconsin back in the upper echelon. I think the right staff.
It can. And the only way you're going to do that is with the new coaching staff. I'm just going to keep saying that.
It's so sad, right? That we are where we are. Here's my next fact or fiction. I like this one. I'm curious where you're at. Fact or fiction, and in the chat, I would love to get your take on this too, because I have a strong take on this. Fact or fiction, the Badgers must return to their identity to be successful in football, i.e. in-state recruiting, running the ball.
Man, I've actually thought about this a lot. This is a very tough one for me because my instant thought is fact, especially when it comes to the in-state recruiting. Right. I think that's really, really important. We do need to keep those. You can still go out of state, but you've got to dominate your state, especially we are the only football program in the state. We're the only FBS program in the state. That's really lucky. So you got to utilize that. But I think that you don't have to necessarily run the ball the way that we did. But I do think that Wisconsin identity is important, and Wisconsin identity was built off this. Like we were good. I did a show with an Oregon guy yesterday, and I pulled up the stat that 27 of 28 years from 1995 to 2023, we were in a bowl. Like, yes, we had the 22-year streak. We also were 27 of 28 years. Like it all happened because we were able to have the identity to compete with the upper echelon of the Big Ten. If you don't have a strong identity, then it's hard to compete with those big boys. I'm going to say fact, but I will hear people that say the offense can shift, but I would say fact.
Yeah, this is an interesting one. I agree with you. Like I found myself vacillating back and forth on it, and people in the chat are kind of in the same way, right? The Grogan says fact, Turin Lowe says fiction, Slim Lewis says fact, investing in offensive line running backs, Grogan development. Jonathan Hess says fiction. Going back will reset us again. This is a good comment here. The motto of the state is forward. I think it's fiction. And here's why I think it's fiction. Because you tried to take a left turn or a right turn and it didn't work doesn't mean the turn itself can't work. It means the driver you had in charge of the car doesn't understand how to drive. People are like, man, you went to Longo, you abandoned your identity. You can't throw the ball like that. And of course you can. Just get a normal quarterback. Russell Wilson threw the ball just fine. Scott Tolzien did. You can throw the ball more if you have the right quarterback and the right coaching staff. People are so frustrated suddenly. I found this an interesting point about Luke Fickell's not connecting enough in state and the in-state recruiting. Not many people cared about that in 24 or 25 when he was landing these really talented out-of-state classes. People didn't really have an issue with it then, Rajiv. It's just suddenly now, oh, that's a big deal. Is it? Or as Gard has proven, can you just get talent out of state and then develop it? The issue to me isn't, again, not getting enough talent in state. And should he have better relationships with in-state coaches? Of course he should. I think that's important. But you can also get talent out of state. You can throw the ball in Madison. You just need a quarterback and a coach to coach it up. I feel like there's an element of reactionism here where we got to go back to what we were doing. I don't know. How about we just play good football? And you can play good football in a lot of different ways.
I love the passionate take from that. I think I totally hear you on this. You're right. Like, it's very fair stuff. You're right. And I think part of it, honestly, man, is like, we're a beaten down fan base that, for me, I've been saying it all year. I want the floor to go back up. So for me, the fact that you have these big offensive linemen and you can run the ball on anyone and you have that. And then when you get that good course, so if you have that system, that culture of O-line, D-line, running the ball, right? Physicality, physical Barry Alvarez, Brett Bielema football. And then the years you have your quarterback, the Russell Wilsons, the Tolziens, or whatever, you have your quarterbacks, you can compete. Your ceiling goes up. Now you can be there. But that baseline was what Wisconsin had for 30 years. And then when we had those special years, we finished 4th or 5th in the country. We would have been in multiple playoffs in a 12-team system. So I'm liking that way too. Like I want that floor to go back up. I don't want to just keep chasing high ceilings. So I'm probably going to be on the other side of this one, but I totally hear your points.
I think it's fair too. I do think the system and kind of the culture we had lends itself to a higher floor. I get that point. I think that's fair. And by the way, I'm also completely okay going back to that system if you get the right coach to implement it too. Again, I just want good football. And there's a lot of ways to play good football. There's a lot of schemes that can lend itself to success. It's not like, sometimes I do think people look at Madison and act like it's on the moon. Like, you can't throw the ball there and be. I saw Purdue throw the ball really well for a long time when they went basketball on grass. Yep. You can throw the ball in the Big Ten. It's okay. Like, let's stop pretending like that can't work. But to your point, I do think that other scheme probably lends itself to a higher floor. So I mean, that.
Like, Purdue also, look at where Purdue is now. Like, Purdue, like that, it's a much more like fluid system. Yeah, you have Drew Brees, you're going to the Rose Bowl. You don't, you're going to be the bottom of the Big Ten. So I feel like I want that. Whatever quarterback we had, Ryan, we had that high floor because we built that culture. So it's important. I do want to go. I'm just starved for that, man. I just want a high floor again. This is killing me. It's how awful it is to talk about this all the time. And when can basketball just start?
It's rough. Soon. And scrimmage tomorrow, by the way. Or actually today, depending on
Exhibition game Friday night.
Exhibition game. Oklahoma. It's going to be a good one. I do want to throw this comment up here. Evil Badger says, I don't think Ryan wanted to do the lockdown crossover with Oregon. Yep. that was tough. It's.
I heard you make a comment on the Locked On Squad show that you felt like you were just like, like you sort of snuck in the back door at the party with all these other schools.
All these other schools.
Penn State was there, so
they're talking about their big games. Even Penn State, though, right? Like, they just paid a $50 million buyout. Even Penn State, if all the Big Ten was like a Friends show right now, Penn State is like the rich guy that squandered a bunch of money, but he's rich, so he'll be okay. He'll be fine. He'll spend his way out of something. And then you have all these other schools that are talking about their big matchups. I feel like I'm just the dude in the corner, right? Like, nobody wants to talk to me. I'm smelly. Like, I'm going to get kicked out soon. Like, golly, man.
Go back to the Wisconsin identity and you'll be happy to be in that room again.
No doubt. Any last thoughts, man? This is a great show. These shows are always awesome.
Man, I'm just really excited for basketball season, and Oregon's going to be rough. I had a 45 through. I actually put. I think we're gonna score a point. By the way, I think we're gonna score because special teams or something crazy. Like it's gonna be really, really crazy if we go 3 weeks without scoring. We're scoring. Okay, so 45-10, maybe something like that. But it's gonna get ugly. Could be some rain, by the way.
Yeah, so good. I hope there is some rain. Keep the score down. Maybe Sean West will break another 20-yarder. The longest run of the year, Rajiv, is by our backup punter. Is that not the craziest thing you've ever heard?
Gosh, it's awful. It's awful, man.
Well, last question on the way out the door, because I just want to ask you, are we going to win another game this year? Fact or fiction?
Fact.
Fact, too. I think so, too. I think everyone's going to disagree with us. I think we do as well.
Yeah, I'm telling you, like that. Okay, I'm sorry. I know we're going long, but the last 4 game stretch to me is it's a season on its own. Okay, like I can't wait for this stupid Oregon game to get out of the way. Get it out of the way. We're done. Now we've got 2 weeks. First of all, in the middle of those 2 weeks, we've got basketball that we can start talking about, which is great. And then 4 games. Let's put it all on the line for 4 games. Let's see what you got.
I love it. Yep, Mr. October, good correction. Receiver runs have been longer. Sean West is the longest out of our running backs. Hooger says fiction, we're not winning. The Grogan, not winning another game. Hope I'm wrong. I agree with you, Rajiv. College football's weird. I think you have a bye week. Weird things can happen. I do think we get 1 more, but even then, that gives you 3 on the year. That's not very good. On Wisconsin, thank you so much for tuning in. Rajiv, thank you as always for jumping on these shows. These are some of my favorite of the week, to be fair. I just love these shows. I love everyone in the comments. And yes, the Grogan, just beat the Gophers. Just beat the Gophers, get the axe on Wisconsin, and we will definitely talk tomorrow.